everybody. I just want to talk to you real quick about some things with angles, which is the next section that we're moving into. And an angle is formed by two rays. For example, there's a ray that starts here and goes in that direction, and a second ray that goes here and goes in that direction. Now, a few things with this that are really, really important. This is considered the interior of an angle, and out here, everywhere else, is considered the exterior of the angle. I also want to have you guys understand that they are measured in degrees in this class. There are other units that you can measure angles in, kind of like, you can measure distance in feet, in yards, and meters, and things like that. Our geometry is only concerned with the measurement in degrees. And actually, we're only concerned with angles that measure between 0 and 180 degrees. There are angles that are bigger than 180. We might briefly touch on those. And you could actually talk about negative angles too in later math classes as well. Use a protractor, and I'll show you in a later video how to measure with a protractor to do that. There's a lot of great stuff online that you can apps and stuff that you can use to measure angles on a computer screen too now. And so I'll show you the old fashioned way, the old protractor. It kind of looks like this. Just don't have one out right now that has all the measurements from 0 to 180 going both ways on this. And I'll demonstrate how to use that protractor to measure angles. Now, here's something that's very challenging, and I just think, and I think you guys know this by now from my tone in class, notation is always a critical thing, and I'm always very concerned that we're having the proper notation with angles. So I want to, and everything else. So I want to show you two pictures. One is just a simple angle, and the one is a little bit more complex. Okay, and I'm going to put some numbers on this and some letters. Let's say this is 1 right here. Let's say this is A, B, and C. And let's say this is D, E, F, and G's right there. And then let's go 3 and, or I guess 2 and 2. All right, so one simple picture, one a little bit more complex. Okay, so now the legal names for this picture right here, there's a number of them. You could use numeric notation if they give you a number. If they don't give you a number, then you have to use letters. You could use for this picture right here, you could just say angle B by just naming it by its vertex. And by the way, this part of an angle is called the vertex. Okay, so that's vertex notation. You could also use 3-letter notation, but when you use 3-letter notation, the middle letter has to be that vertex. No disputing that. It has to be the vertex. So I could call it angle ABC or angle CBA. So you have lots of possibilities with that simple picture right there. When you get more complex like this, sometimes one of those possibilities won't work. Let me put it that way. You can't use 1-letter notation to name an angle in this picture. And the reason is because I don't know what angle you're talking about. If you say, hey, look at angle E, I don't know if you're talking about this angle, this one, or the big one. So angle E, 1-letter notation, when there's more than one angle that has it as the vertex, can't work. So let's say I am talking about this angle right here, this one. I could say angle 2. I could say angle GEF, which is going to be the most common way when you have a complex picture is to use 3-letter notation. Or I could say angle FEG. Remember, that middle letter has to be the vertex or the corner of the angle is what some students like to think. Let's say I'm talking about this angle up here. I could say angle 3 because they give me a number. If they don't give me a number, then I have to use 3-letter notation. I can't say angle E because angle E is a vertex of more than one angle, but I could say angle DEG or I could say angle GEF. G, E, F. Those would work. And we will work a lot with the notation of angles. Remember, one letter notation does not work all the time. Numeric notation using a number doesn't work all the time unless they give you a number. 3-letter notation has to have the middle letter as the vertex. Thanks for listening.